Hey everyone, welcome to my second YouTube channel. This is going to be very sort of conversational. I'm not going to make tons of edits here, but I'm almost going to just do sort of like a brain dump on everything that I've learned about YouTube, how I grew my personal brand YouTube channel from 0 to about 800 some thousand subscribers. It probably will be hitting 1 million sometime, maybe in the next month or two, we'll see. But I'm going to break down sort of like my strategy. Like I said, very conversational. So I might take a couple of pauses here and there, but I think if you want to stick through with this video, you're going to find an incredible amount of value in this. And I wrote down some notes so that we can kind of follow along here. And I would suggest to you as well that maybe just have a pen and paper ready to go in case you want to jot some things down so that you can look back on this video and say, okay, this is what I got out of it. I think that could be useful for you. I love doing that for sort of informational videos. So we'll get started here and we'll go over a variety of different topics. Maybe I'll put some timestamps down below as well if you want to kind of sort through and find specific things when it comes to growing a YouTube channel. I'm not like selling you a course. I honestly have been thinking about creating some type of like analytical YouTube course, but I don't know. There's so much free information out there that you don't really have to pay for it. We'll see in the future. And consulting, I don't really do that either. But let's just get started here. If you're new to the channel though, and you haven't been on a second channel, make sure you do subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would just make my day. You can drop a like if you find this to be really valuable as well. And just one other quick note, this is the worst mug ever. So don't mind this sweater weather mug. This is terrible, but it's the only thing I had. So, okay, let's get started here. First question that people have with YouTube that we're going to start with, and then we'll kind of branch off and talk about what it takes to create viral videos and everything else that you might be thinking about what I do for my channel. So the first one is sort of like, is it too late to start on YouTube, especially because we're going into 2021 here? I'm just going to tell you right now, you probably already know the answer, but the answer is no. It's not too late. And I say this because every year this question comes up. Is it too late to start? Or maybe did I miss the wave for YouTube, and should I not even bother because there's already big finance YouTubers, or there's already big YouTubers in this scene that I want to get into, or the gaming YouTube sector is just so flooded with people? Yeah, that might be the case, but it's never too late to start on YouTube. Ever. And I'll probably be saying this in like 10 years if I'm still around. I'll be saying, you know, it's not too late to start. People said when I started my channel in 2017 that it was too late to start on YouTube in 2017, that you should have started back in 2010 or 2012. And then, you know, things worked out pretty well, went from, you know, 0 to 800 some thousand subscribers. They said it for my brother as well. When he started his channel in, I think, 2018, they said, you know, it's probably too late to start on YouTube. He grew to hundreds of thousands of subscribers as well. And I have friends who grew from 0 to 500,000 in the past few months. I mean, literally since the spring. So it's possible to grow a channel at any point. It's just if you have the right sort of ingredients to make this work. So if you're considering it, yeah, just send it. Just do it. I think I watched other people grow YouTube channels for, you know, from like 2012 to 2016 or 2017. I just watch people grow channels. You know, you might be watching this right now and saying, this chump, if he can get a lot of subscribers, then you can probably do that as well. Because I have said that before as well, that, you know, I'm not like some type of, you know, straight A student or some type of particularly smart person. Like, it's not really, I don't want to say that it's not rocket science, but there's a system that you can use that you don't have to be extremely smart to know how to win, as long as you're following it. And with anything, you get better over time, right? So if you start your YouTube channel and it's not working out too well, if you keep pushing through, you get better at it, right? So just a brief breakdown of kind of my channel history. My first month, I had 64 subscribers. After a few months, I had like 200 subscribers. So it takes a long time to build. And if you're kind of experiencing that at any point as well, just push through, you get better, you start to learn. And as long as you're continuing to innovate, which I'll show you how to do that as well in this video, then you will win with YouTube, okay? So channel history, yeah. So 64 subscribers in the first month, a couple hundred after a few months. I think at the end of the first year, I had about 5,000 subscribers. I made like $900 in total. At the end of the second year, I went from 5,000 subscribers to about 55,000 subscribers. And then at the end of the third year, I went from about 55,000 subscribers to like 330,000, I think. And then at the end of this year, so this is almost the fourth year now, I'm going to go from 330,000 to maybe close to almost 900,000. So it's grown, you know, between 300% and like 1,000% per year from the subscriber count. Okay. So let's look at a couple things here as far as important factors to create a video that really performs well. And the first one is most definitely click-through rate. Okay, so this is kind of where we're getting into like the meat and potatoes of the video. So hopefully you find some value, and of course, you know, you can subscribe if you do like it. But the click-through rate is really, I would argue, to be possibly the most crucial part of a video. Okay, so when we look at click-through rate, there's two important things here. There's the title of the video, and then there's the thumbnail, like kind of the picture of what people see. So when somebody goes onto YouTube, they might see 20 different videos that are suggested to them. So how do you beat out those other 19 videos or 20 videos? And how do you become the video that people click on over the other ones that might have like somebody with like green slime and Mr. Beast talking about how he's giving away $10 million. And then here's you know, you're competing with these people who have really good thumbnails. So we need to attract people's attention. And the thing that I always do for this, and like I said earlier in this video, like this is very just a conversational video, so it's not extremely structured, but I'm kind of just dumping all this information here. The thing that I always do is try to spark some type of intrigue or question that people might have when they see your thumbnail. So you don't want to totally give away everything in a thumbnail, but you want somebody to look at it, so it catches their eye, they look at it and they say, huh, I want to learn more. I want to see what that's about. It sort of makes them curious. So sparking curiosity in a thumbnail is what I think can be really crucial and essential to sort of getting that high click-through rate. Because as soon as people start clicking on your video a lot compared to other ones, YouTube loves that. They say, okay, well, there's something up with this. A lot of people, 15%, 20% of people who see this thumbnail are clicking on it versus all these other ones. Let's start to push this out to more people and see if it performs well. So sparking some type of curiosity is always important. And in general, as far as thumbnails go, I like to keep them very basic, very simple. So if you look at my channel, you can see that most of my thumbnails are usually either have no words whatsoever, or maybe 1 to 2 or possibly 3 words in the thumbnail. I think the more words in the thumbnail, the worse off it does once you get past about 3 words. Now, this is just from what I've seen, my experience, but if you try to cram like 2 sentences into a thumbnail, like for example, if the thumbnail for this video was like, how I grow on YouTube to 800,000 subscribers, and like I try to stuff it all right here, it would just be too much. And people don't have time. Like, people glance at things. We have very short attention spans. So people aren't gonna glance at you and then read 2 sentences in your thumbnail. They're just not gonna do it. They want big, juicy words right there, okay? So metrics are really good ones to use as well. So probably, I mean, I haven't thought about the thumbnail for this video that I'm making right now, but probably the thumbnail will be something like a certain metric, like 800,000 subscribers, YouTube, or like how I did it, right? But not too many words. On one side, probably on this side, just like this, is where I'll have it, nice blank spot right here where I'll put the text. That's just how I make my thumbnails. People make them differently. Sometimes I don't even use any words, but in general, keep it simple. Simplicity is winning with YouTube thumbnails going forward, okay? Just remember that. And hey, I'm gonna give you a little secret here. You don't have to be a professional to make these thumbnails. I literally make my thumbnails in Microsoft PowerPoint. And people laugh when they hear this, but I actually make my thumbnails in PowerPoint. I don't use Photoshop. I don't have like an editor who makes my thumbnails for me. I make them in PowerPoint. I've done that since day one, and it works really well for me. And that's just, yeah, I know, it's funny. People laugh at that, but okay, so that's important, but also the title. So crafting the title is something that's really important to think about as well. I don't think it's as important as a thumbnail. The thumbnail is like the most important part of a click-through rate to get people to click on your videos, but a title is very important as well, because you also want to spark intrigue and you want it to complement the thumbnail. So what we can do here in this case is, let's say that you have a title, you want it to be different from the thumbnail, but not too different. And I like to front load titles as well. So for example, let's say that for a video where I talk about how to grow a YouTube channel, I'm going to stuff the most important keywords in the beginning of the title. So it's keyword stuffing, front loading the keywords into the title can help, especially if you're trying to rank for search. That's just a common practice that we've seen over many years. And also little tweaks we can add for titles as well, like adding brackets. I think there were actually some studies on this. It might have been Brian Dean, I'm not quite sure, but they ran some studies and they ran millions of different scenarios. And they found that when you use brackets, so for example, let's say that you have like a title, so blah, 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 and then in brackets, you put like how to or 2021, or you put something in brackets after sort of to complement the title, we found that that actually increases your overall click-through rate. And you know, this is I don't have the exact statistics to back it up because I'm not sure where I saw that study from, but it does hold a lot of validity to it. So I would try doing that as well, adding some of those brackets in there for a title. But in general as well, try to keep the title pretty short as well. And you have to look at kind of what what the goal of the video is. So if you're trying to rank for search, longer title can be okay because you want to stuff a lot of keywords in there. Whereas if you're making like a viral video, you might not want to have a massive title. You might want to just keep it nice and simple, right? Like my minimalist apartment, very nice and simple. That was easily pushed out by YouTube that I made, got a couple million views on that. Okay. Now, there's 3 other things that are really important when it comes to creating videos that can really succeed on YouTube. And hopefully, you know, you're following along here. I don't know how far we're in. We might be close to 10 minutes, but hopefully you're getting something out of this here. So there's 3 other factors here that are really important. And I'll just list them off and then we'll go in depth on each one of these. It's watch time. It's watch time percentage, and then it's also engagement, which is also very important. We can actually add a 4th one on there as well, which is session duration. Okay, so let's first look at watch time. Well, overall watch time that a viewer is on your video. This is very important for YouTube because what does YouTube care about in the end of the day, right? They care about money. All these businesses, they care about money. They want to make money. And so how do they make money? Well, they make money by ads getting run on your videos, on my videos. I should probably just put an ad right here if I remember to. And so they're making money on ads. And so they want viewers to spend more time on YouTube. It just makes sense, right? So the longer that they're spending on your videos, YouTube likes that. They really like that. And they're going to love you a lot if people watch your videos a lot. So the more time people are watching your videos, the better off it is, the more the algorithm is going to push it. And that's something that you want to consider. So how do you get longer watch time? There's a number of different ways we can do this. If you analyze Mr. Beast, who is crushing it on YouTube, he obviously has one of the largest YouTube channels. I mean, he's an absolute genius when it comes to YouTube growth. If you look at what he does for watch time, he sort of will give you like a little teaser in the beginning. He says like, this is what we're doing in the video, you know, stick around till the end because this is a crazy result, right? And so he keeps you kind of in the video. Some things that I do sometimes is I like to sort of space out the information in a video as well and almost sort of promise things that we're going to do in the future. So if you notice a little thing that I just did right here, I said, you know, we're going to talk about watch time percentage, and engagement and session duration. And then I said, I'm going to list out each one of these in the coming minutes. So this kind of keeps you a little bit in a video where you say, okay, well, he listed them out, but I want him to explain what they are, right? So that's kind of a tactic there without being like the person who is like not getting to the point, because I hate when you watch those videos, when you watch a video for 20 minutes and you're just trying to find a simple answer and we're on minute 19 and they still haven't given you the answer. People don't like that. It pisses people off. They dislike the videos. So make sure that you get to the point, but also don't be afraid to have, you know, a little bit of an opening, you know, 30 seconds to a minute of kind of giving an introduction, reminding people to subscribe and like the video and everything else in between, right? So that's very important. So now let's look at watch time percentage, which is also very important here. So we have overall watch time, right? How much time are people spending on your video? If you have a 10-minute video, are they watching it for 30 seconds and then clicking off? That's not very good. That's only 30 seconds out of a 10-minute video. YouTube doesn't like that. It tells YouTube, this is a terrible video. We're not going to push this to anybody. We're not going to promote this to anybody. But for watch time percentage, we look at the overall percentage of a video that's being watched. So if you have a 10-minute video, and as a general rule of thumb here, if you have a 10-minute video, a good watch time percentage from what I've seen historically on my channel and on a number of other channels that I've worked with in the past, I would say probably around 50% or more watch time percentage on like a 10-minute video is good. Obviously, the longer the better, and we talked about, a couple strategies that we can use to keep people in videos, very important. But 50% or more is good. Now, if you have a 2-minute video, a 50% watch time might not be too great. But if you have an hour-long video, a 50% watch time is amazing. That means they're watching for 30 minutes on average. So definitely focus on keeping that watch time percentage up. That's a factor that YouTube really does care about. Watch time overall length, and also the percentage of a video that people are watching. If you can get both of those very high, that's very, very good news for you. Okay, now also engagement is something that's somewhat important. I don't think it's the most sort of the top factor for creating viral videos, but engagement still can be a really useful tactic for growing YouTube channels, and also making sure that you're growing subscribers, you're getting likes on your videos, and you are interacting with your followers. So for engagement, there's a strategy that I like to use, which is to try to almost trigger people in a way, in a very fun sort of way. And look, I'm not an entertainer. I'm not somebody who cracks jokes all the time. I'm just not that type of person. I like to have fun outside of YouTube. I have fun with my friends. But when it comes to making videos, I like to just kind of get to the point, be informational. That's just how I like to present it. But having said that, finding ways to get people to engage into your content. So Graham Stephan, if you've seen any of his videos, you'll know that a thing that he always does is he always finds a way to smash the like button, right? He says smash the like button, but he like slips it in really creative ways. He also has things where he talks about like his 20-cent iced coffee, and he had his avocado toast meme that he kind of had running for a while. So he always has like jokes that really gets the comments going. So if you can get the comments going by finding something to kind of almost get people going in a way. So I'll give you an example here. I made a video about my minimalist apartment like a year ago, right? And the thing that really got people going in that video is because I made my coffee, well, they call it cowboy coffee, or there's a Turkish coffee, or there's a lot of different things that people call it. But basically, where you just put the coffee grinds in the cup without using a filter. I still do that. I don't know, filters are just kind of like a waste of time to me. Whatever, off topic. But because I did that, a lot of people were triggered by that. They're like, this is really weird, or I do this too, or this and that, blah, blah, blah. 90% of the comments on that video were about how I make my coffee. So it spurred people to say, I need to comment on this because this is just so weird of a thing, right? With my other minimalist apartment video, I brought up my little vacuum cleaner, which I named him Gary, kind of like Gary the Snail, I guess. I don't know. But I named my vacuum cleaner, and is that weird? Maybe it is. I don't know. I can't really have pets because I travel a lot, so I have a vacuum cleaner. It's kind of sad. But anyway, so I fed him some granola in the video. I was going to include it in the video regardless, but when I was talking to my videographer, we agreed that we need to kind of get comments going somehow. We need to do something in the video to get people talking a little bit. So that's a little secret there that I would try to do. Try to create something like a little meme or an inside joke. Like I know JJ Buckner is always like cracking like a natty light in his videos, and it's just kind of like a recurring thing that people love, and you kind of create this nice fan base there. So yeah, also don't be afraid to ask for likes, ask for people to subscribe. Like I can ask you right now, like the video if you've gotten this far and you appreciate the content here. I really would actually, seriously, like if you like the video. See, like do that kind of stuff, but also asking people to subscribe. Don't be ashamed to say that. I say it almost every video, and that's why my subscription rates are very, very high compared to my views, because I just say, don't forget to subscribe, because people forget, right? I forget. And when I watch YouTubers and they say, hey, don't forget to subscribe, I say, oh yeah, I forgot to subscribe. Let me do that right now. So don't be afraid to ask that, and it will help you a lot. Because when YouTube sees that people are subscribing, they say, okay, well, they're subscribing for a reason, we should push these videos more, right? So it's all trying to game the algorithm, figure out the algorithm. So let's quickly talk about quality versus quantity. Should you put out a lot of videos, or should you put out maybe fewer videos? Now you could go both routes here, and I have friends who do both. Let's look at, I'll take two examples here. Let's take Patty Galloway, who makes some really great videos about YouTube, and he puts out maybe like one video a month, I would say, maybe like one every few weeks. Very, very rare for him to put out a video, but they do really well. Or you could look at somebody like Meet Kevin, who puts out seriously like 5 videos a day. I don't know how he does it. It's insane. So should you go for quality or quantity? And not to say that Meet Kevin doesn't have quality. His videos are really good. But in terms of overall production, of kind of thinking about how you're crafting the video, Patty's videos, he puts 40 or 100 hours into each video. He really crafts it and he creates a perfect video, whereas Kevin will just turn on the camera and start talking and he's done within an hour and that's the video. Both work extremely well, and Kevin's videos are insane. I mean, he's making probably like $1 million a month or something insane from that. So both can work. Both can work. You can go for the quantity route and just pump out a video a day or 2 videos a day, or you can pump out 500 videos next year, or you can focus on just putting out 1 a month or 1 a week, right? So try to find that balance. That's what I've always tried to do with myself, is try to find that balance. I try to go for about 1 a week, although sometimes I'll go a month without posting a video. Sometimes I'll put 2 in a week. But I would say try to find that balance between the two, but don't sacrifice quality too much. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose quality, but fewer videos, over quantity, but a lot of them. And there's a couple of reasons for this, but overall, as YouTube grows, as more people are posting videos on YouTube, it is getting a little bit harder to rank on YouTube. It is getting a little bit harder to be successful on YouTube. So if you focus on quality, I'll have to make an edit there, actually. I just burped. I was hoping we could do this whole video without any edits, but I'll make one right there. So if you're focusing on quality, it also gives you a couple of other benefits to it as well, where you can sort of take a step back and not have to like all day, every day, just making videos. Whereas with quality, you can just kind of make a video and then maybe take a week off. You can take some time to take a step back and analyze and think about what your next move is, and create evergreen content with the quality side versus the quantity, where maybe you're doing like news-related topics, but they die out very quickly, right? So if you make a news-related topic about this week, the stock market this week, well, it's great, right? But next week, nobody's going to care about a week-old video about the current events, right? So the quality route with the long-term evergreen content, I think, is really a winning strategy. But also speaking about this, I wanted to kind of go off on something called newsjacking. This is a great strategy for people who or maybe they have 100 subscribers, they have 0 subscribers. You want to grow your YouTube as fast as possible, especially if you're kind of at a low subscriber rate right now. How do you go out and find people to get to your YouTube channel? You do something called newsjacking. This is probably the best tactic that I could give to you, and hopefully this is like a nice little gold nugget if you haven't thought of this prior. But basically what you do with this, and you find a very current event, a relevant topic that you can tie into your channel, and this is going to boost your channel quite a bit. I did this, the first time I did this was Snapchat IPO. I think this was like 2017. I just started my channel. I had like 50 subscribers or whatever, maybe 100 subscribers. And I made a video about Snapchat IPO. And because there were no videos talking about this, but there were thousands of people searching for it, even though I only had 50 subscribers, my video popped up at the top because there was no other content. There were no other YouTube videos talking about Snapchat IPO, right? When Snapchat had their stock offering. So that's a great strategy that you can use. I have a lot of friends who did this with the stimulus checks, right? So they started making stimulus check videos because everybody was interested. This year, 2020, everybody said, well, when am I getting my stimulus check? What's going on with that? Nobody really knew what was going on. So they went onto YouTube, and I had a couple friends who just made stimulus check update videos, and they got hundreds of thousands or millions of views from those, and they were very time-sensitive videos. So consider doing that. Whatever niche you're in, even if you just do it by the date or by the week or something very relevant, current, right? Not to say that you should make videos about politics, but if you were making videos about like, Joe Biden inauguration or something, or whatever you wanted to go off on, those videos would probably perform pretty well because it's newsjacking, you're getting in the news, and you're kind of beating out anything else because there's not much competition in that. So hopefully that's a little bit valuable there for you. But also, hey, look, don't overanalyze a strategy to create a quality video, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is just creating a quality video. And sometimes we look into it too much and we say, I need to spend hours doing keyword research, and we get like TubeBuddy and vidIQ, and we try to like perfectly game the system. Sometimes it's good to just kind of be a natural human and say, what does the viewer want? What would I want as a viewer? And then just focus on creating the quality content rather than like trying to find the perfect keyword to create. I don't know. I think sometimes people spend too much time in TubeBuddy or some different types of software for growing their YouTube channel. Okay. Couple other things that are important to talk about here. Scripting videos. Should you script videos for your channel? And my consensus on this is, you got to do you. What I did is I did script my first videos for the first couple of months because I'm not a natural speaker. I mean, I'm really an introvert. I'm not a great speaker at all. And so I didn't know how to, talk. I mean, I couldn't talk to a camera. It was really difficult. It's easy now, so I don't script anything now. Like, I literally just turn on a camera. For this, I wrote down some notes so I could kind of follow along here. But usually I just turn on the camera and start talking now because I've made 100 videos or 200 videos, so it gets really easy. But when you're starting, don't be afraid to script videos. You can build a homemade teleprompter. That's actually what I did for my channel. I built a homemade teleprompter out of a shoebox and a piece of glass. Super easy. You can probably just search on YouTube to find some of those. And it's a really cool idea. So don't be afraid to script. I think it can be good. And let's look at this a couple other things. So what about recording? Do you need like crazy equipment? The most important thing for this is not actually the camera. Like, a camera is important, and this camera cost me, almost $2,000. But the camera's not the most important factor. It's the audio. The audio is the most important factor because what we found is that people are far more willing to watch a grainy, pixelated video if the audio is really good. But they're not happy when, say, the video is really good, but the audio is terrible, okay? So if you want to upgrade something, get good audio. I have like a Zoom H1 recorder that I use. I'll show you here. It's a really simple Zoom H1 recorder that I use. It was like $99, and I have a little lapel mic that runs up through my shirt connected to my sweatshirt here. And if you just get that, and then you can record with your phone, I really think that could be just a solid setup, and you just get some basic lights, you get something to absorb some sound so it doesn't sound like you're in some type of big echo chamber, and that's really all you need for in terms of quality. I'm not a videographer, but you get better with that as well over time. Like, if you start a channel a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, you just get better. And by year number 5 or year number 10, you're just an expert with videography and understanding lighting and everything else in between. Okay, so two other things that I want to just briefly discuss here to wrap up this video is I also suggest keeping as much in-house as possible. What I mean by this is don't try to instantly just outsource things on your YouTube channel, because I think this is a mistake that people make, and I've seen people do this where they say, you know what, I'm going to hire a video editor, I'm going to hire somebody to make my thumbnails, I'm going to hire somebody to like script my videos for me. When you do this, look, people mean the best, but you get really good at understanding what works and what doesn't. So if I have somebody edit my videos, they might do it wrong. And I know this is something that eventually you have to let go of, but I really do everything myself when it comes to thinking about what's going in the video and crafting the thumbnail, the title. I do all of that because I've been doing it for a long time, and I know what works and what doesn't work. And if I try to outsource this to somebody, some random editor on in a different country somewhere who maybe doesn't even have a YouTube channel, I don't think that they really know what works best. So if I outsource a thumbnail, I'm not sure if they know what's going to be the best thing to put in that thumbnail, the best strategy for it. So I would recommend doing it in-house, doing it yourself. I know Graham Stephan does this as well for pretty much all of his stuff. I've been doing this myself because you just get really good at it, okay? All right, so the last thing that I'm gonna leave you with here is to break common knowledge, okay? And every time when I create a video, I look at it and I say, how can I create something that people will sort of say, huh, that's really weird, or that looks totally wrong. And so it breaks common knowledge. And going back to one of the first points when I talked about the thumbnail is sparking curiosity, getting people into your video, and sort of taking like an approach that almost goes against the grain. So for example, one of my videos where I said, my plan to retire at 24. Well, when I made this video, I don't know how many views this got, maybe like 400,000, I'm not quite sure, but it performed pretty well. And it performed well because this is kind of a weird thing to do, right? Like somebody retiring at 24, that just sounds really weird, right? So people are naturally intrigued because most people retire at age 64, not at age 24. So they want to know what it's about. So find a way to go against the grain, something that doesn't usually happen, something that people don't usually do, and that's going to really win with YouTube and really create viral videos. I mean, look at my other one where, I talked about my minimalist apartment. The thumbnail on that was I sold everything, right? So, I mean, somebody sold everything. Like, that just sounds crazy. You have to know what it's about. You have to click on it now because you're intrigued by it. You're curious. So that's the biggest piece of advice that I can leave you with. Always try to find a way to spark that curiosity, and that's going to create some winning videos. So hopefully you did find some value in this. Maybe I'll make more of these if you want to see them, sort of just these long form videos. Maybe I'll just turn them into podcast episodes. I don't know. But thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. And hopefully we'll make more on this channel. So I guess that's it. Yeah.